Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about reading dot plots and frequency tables. So you are going to need a pencil, some paper, and a calculator. Your Chromebook works just fine for this. So let's look at dot plots and frequency tables. You guys already know what a dot plot is. You've been working with those. So that's pretty much like this. It's like a graph using dots. Frequency tables are what we make dot plots from. So they kind of come before the dot plot sometimes. So frequency, the word frequent, as you know, means how often something happens. So whenever I have a table like this, I would have a number and then how often anything happens. The frequency is typically what you see as the dots. That's usually what we've dotted. So for a score of 1, I would have 2 dots. For a score of 2, I'd have 5 dots. So my frequency is typically what I'm using dots for. So let's look at an example. So it says the following frequency table shows the number of parking spots on Falcon Drive. So here I have my number of parking spots, and typically when I have data like this where it goes in a really nice order and nothing repeats, those are going to be the numbers that I'm going to put on my number line when I make my dot plot. So those are going to be the numbers down here: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I see anything repeat, like over here, how these are all 1s and 2s, that's typically going to be my dots. So that's how I know the difference in what I'm doing here. So these numbers will all be, these numbers are all different, you'll see. And this would be, this side is more of my frequency side, or how frequently they happen. All right, so I'm going to graph my data now. So here I've got my 0, and I've got one house. I'm going to just put 1 dot there. 1 spot, 1 house again. And put 1 dot there. 2 spots, 2 houses. 2 dots there. 3 spots, 1 house. And 4 spots, 1 house. Now to find the mean, I basically can take this dot plot that I've made and order my data so it works better for me. So I just start here at the end of my dot plot. I've got 1, 0, 1, 1. Here's my 1, 1. Here I have 2 2s, 2, 2. Here I have 1, 3. And I've got 1, 4. So that's really my data right there. The frequency table tells me my data, but it's kind of an indirect thing. I have to set up my dot plot in order to see that data there. So now I'm going to find my mean. So I'm going to add all those numbers together. So 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 12. And then that's 6 data points. So I'm going to divide by 2. So the mean number of parking spaces per house is 2 for that. So that's how we use a frequency table to gather data. So I typically take a frequency table and turn it into a dot plot and then go from there. Use my dots to figure out my data. Let's look at another example. This one, it says Anna played 4 rounds of golf and then played her lowest round and scored an 80. So how did the lowest round affect the mean and the median? What happened when Anna included the lowest score of 80? So she's got this outlier out here that's way out here, this guy. So I've already gone ahead and kind of solved this one for us so we can just look at it. So here, without 80, I've got our data here. Here I've got it adding the 80 in. So without the 80, if I figure out the mean, it's 93. With that 80, my mean goes down to 90.4 because now it has to include that data point. My median without the 80 is 93. My median with that 80 is 92 because now I'm finding that middle number. Here I have to take my 92 and 94, add them together, and then divide by 2 to get that 93. Or figure out the number that's right in the middle of those two. All right, so for this one then, if you look at your choices here, the only one that makes sense is that C, both the mean and median decreased, but the mean decreased by more than the median. The median only went down by 1, and the mean went down much more here from 93 to 90.4. I'll continue on in the next video.